The movie starts with a scary robbery that takes a deadly turn. Two security guards are transporting cash in an armored truck when they're stopped by what appears to be a group of construction workers. But as soon as the truck stops, the workers show what they really want. They pull out guns and bombs to rob the truck. Both guards are killed, and so are some people who just happened to be there. This sad event shocks Fortico security, and the company tries to make their rules stricter to stop another event like that from happening. 5 months later, a new guy named Patrick Hill starts working at Fortico as a security guard. During his first day, his boss, Terry, talks about the terrible robbery.
Just so you know, we lost some guards a while ago.
Bluntly tells Patrick that the people who did it are still out there. With this sad information, Patrick is told to be careful and follow every rule exactly. Patrick, who they quickly call H, starts training with a guard named Bullet.
I'm going to call you H if that's okay. They call me Bullet.
But he doesn't do very well at first. He barely passes, which is the lowest you can get. When he practices shooting, his shots go all over the place. And when he practices driving the truck, he hits some boxes. Even though he starts off badly, H keeps going, wanting to prove himself. In the locker room, Bullet introduces H to the other guards. They all look him over, and it's clear he's the new guy. Sweet Boy, a rude and talkative guard, doesn't like H's jokes and starts arguing with him.
He looks like he could handle a cock.
Yeah, small hands. Makes me very popular, and you look good.
Meanwhile, Dana, the only woman guard, seems interested in the quiet new guy. The others, including Sticky John, who is angry that H took his job, aren't very nice to him. On his first day, H goes with Bullet and Sweet Boy to pick up cash. Before they leave, Bullet tells H that they are the ones who could be attacked, not the other way around.
Any idea how dangerous this job can be?
Some idea, yeah.
No, you have no idea.
While they are driving, Sweet Boy tells a scary story. He says that he was supposed to be driving the truck that was robbed 5 months ago, but he called in sick that day. He was at his mother's house, which is why he wasn't a suspect and didn't get killed. Sick. The first pickup goes smoothly. Back at the office, H sees how secure everything is. There are heavy gates, metal detectors, and Sticky John watching the entrance. At the end of the day, the guards take off their ID cards and put them on a board, which is a small but important routine. The team goes to a bar to relax, and Bullet asks H to come along. Before he leaves, H looks closely at the ID cards of his new coworkers. Then, at the bar, the team has drinks and plays pool, but things get bad when the guards try to get Sticky John to fight H, saying that H took his job. H stays calm and handles the situation easily, putting Sticky John in his place. Then, to everyone's surprise, he gives John some money, telling him to buy a drink and calm down. Sticky John is embarrassed and leaves. Bullet watches and jokes that H is good with people. Things get dramatic on their next shift. Bullet gets out to pick up a small amount of money, $10,000, but doesn't come back. Sweet Boy tries to call him on the radio, but gets no answer.
Bullet, unless you found some beautiful blue-eyed Latino boy, you should be back by now.
Then, a scary voice comes over the radio.
If you want to see your girlfriend again, you'll do exactly as I say.
Sweet Boy panics, telling H to drive back to the office.
I have to call this. No. They don't want his 10 grand. They don't want his 10 grand. The money's in the truck. We have $2.5 million in here. If we take it away.
He thinks that the robbers will let Bullet go if they take the money away, since it's not worth killing over. But H refuses, saying that they are not leaving without their friend. His confidence makes Sweet Boy stay, and they follow the robbers' instructions. The truck is led to a lonely area. When they arrive, a robber with a mask gets out of a car, dragging Bullet with a gun to his head. Another robber orders H and Sweet Boy to throw the cash into the trunk. Sweet Boy is scared, warning H that the robbers will kill them if they don't do what they say. H ignores him, calmly going to the back of the truck and throwing the bags of money out one by one. But he throws one bag to the side, onto the ground. One of the robbers sees this and tells H not to try anything.
Now listen up, boy. I said throw the money in the flatbed.
Meanwhile, Sweet Boy keeps begging H to listen, getting more and more worried. As one of the robbers goes to get the bag that was thrown to the side, H takes his chance. He quickly shoots the robber and then shoots the one holding Bullet. A big shootout starts with the other attackers. Even though they try, one robber gets away. H wants to catch him, so he leaves Bullet and Sweet Boy behind and chases the robber into an old warehouse. Inside, H finds the robber quickly. He demands to know who sent him, but the robber just insults him. H stays calm and knocks the man out. Soon after, Bullet and Sweet Boy find him. H asks Sweet Boy if he's still feeling brave, making fun of him for saying he could handle robbers. Bullet and Sweet Boy are still shocked and can barely answer. H looks at the dead robbers with masks on. He takes off their masks, hoping to find someone he knows, but none of them are the person he's looking for. Later, 2 FBI agents come to investigate. They ask H how he could shoot so well during the shootout, since he didn't do well on the shooting test. H says that the danger made him focus and act accurately. The agents show him a video of a man shooting 3 people during a robbery and ask if he knows him. H looks at the unclear picture. It says he doesn't know the person. The agents tell their boss, FBI agent King, that they think H might be the man they've been looking for 25 years. King doesn't think so, saying that H is just a painter who can hide things well. He tells his team to stay away from H. After the fight, Terry tells H to take a month off and go to counseling as the company requires. But the Fortico boss disagrees. He thinks that H's actions are good for the company's image, so he decides to give him a promotion instead. H goes back to work as an armored truck guard right away. Without his co-workers knowing, H starts working behind the scenes, hiring someone to gather information on all Fortico employees. This includes family photos, work records, and even autopsy reports from the guards who were killed in the earlier robbery. 3 months later, H and Bullet are on a routine run when their truck is attacked by another group of robbers. The attackers spray the truck's windows and mirrors with black paint, making it hard to see. Bullet quickly calls in an emergency, but the robbers start using tools to force the guards out of the truck. Bullet falls to the ground, coughing from the chaos, while H steps out calmly. As the robbers tell him to lie down, something unexpected happens. When they see H's face, they immediately leave, giving up on the robbery. Back at Fortico, Terry is confused by the robbers' reaction and is amazed by H's ability to handle dangerous situations. The boss, staying mysterious, tells Terry to keep praising their best guy. Bullet, however, tells a coworker that H is scary, calling him a dark spirit. Meanwhile, H's personal life changes when Dana tells him she likes him. They spend the night together, becoming closer, even with all the chaos happening around him. Leaving the scene of his revenge behind, H points a gun at Dana. He is cold and serious. He demands to know about the hidden money he found, thinking she might be a messenger or involved in something bigger. Dana, scared, says she has nothing to do with anything organized, saying she just stole the money during one of her jobs. H doesn't believe her and says he knows a lot about her contacts, including her family, warning her not to hide anything. There is a lot of tension between them as Dana says she's innocent. Then the story goes back 5 months, showing a different side of Atstasi's life. He spends a peaceful day with his son Dougie, enjoying a rare, normal moment. This is interrupted when Mike, one of H's friends and someone who was involved in a recent robbery, calls asking for help. Mike says that their plan has a problem and one of their crew members can't make it to a location near H. The job seems simple. Watch a Fortico truck leave the gates and say if it turns left or right. H doesn't want to get involved, but he agrees. On the way, he sees a food truck near the gate and decides to use it to hide what he's doing. He says he's hungry, parks the car, and tells Dougie to stay inside while he gets some burritos. From the food truck, H sees the Fortico truck turn right and tells Mike. Sadly, a different group of robbers disguised as construction workers attacks the Fortico truck just down the road. Without knowing it, the robbery is happening close to where H is parked. One of the robbers sees Dougie in the car and tells him to get out. Dougie is scared and calls for his father, but H is still on the phone with Mike and doesn't hear him. Dougie listens to the robbers and lies on the ground, but in a terrible moment, he turns his head and sees the robber taking off their mask. That seals his fate. The robber kills the guards and then kills Dougie. H finally realizes what's happening and runs back to his car, arriving just as his son is being murdered. Enraged, he runs toward the robber but is shot before he can do anything. When H wakes up 3 weeks later, he is in a hospital bed, hurt physically and emotionally. He is told about Dougie's death, and Dougie's mother blames him for their son's death. She says he is cold-hearted and failed to protect their child. H is filled with guilt and wants revenge. He asks his friend, FBI agent King, for help finding the robbers. King gives him a list of known criminals to investigate, hoping to find justice. H, along with Mike and their crew, starts hunting down and killing suspects in the city's criminal world. But even with their efforts and the bodies they leave behind, the real killer is still out there. Realizing that what they're doing isn't working, Mike suggests a change in strategy. H agrees and says he's going back to London for a while. Before he leaves, he tells his assistant to create a fake identity for him under the name Patrick Hill, with a perfect but made-up security background. With this new identity, H gets a job at Fortico Security, putting himself inside the company to find leads and track down the real criminals. In a separate story from months earlier, 6 war veterans, sad and struggling with money problems, come together under the leadership of their former Sergeant Jackson. They are all frustrated and desperate, so they come up with a plan to rob rich people from the Middle East. Jan, one of the more ambitious members, convinces them to start robbing, initially stealing a few $100,000. But as the money comes in, they want more. While Jackson is still in charge, Jan starts to think he's equal to him, or maybe even better. Jackson and his crew are tired of using so many people to turn stolen goods into cash, so they decide to target armored trucks directly. This only needs one person on the inside, letting them split the stolen money into 7 shares. With their robberies now making millions, Jackson tells the group to stay low-key, not quitting their jobs or buying fancy things. However, Jan, the most reckless member, ignores Jackson's advice, doing things that could easily get them caught. During Jackson's birthday party, the crew agrees to plan one last big robbery, robbing a Fortico truck carrying a lot of money. They plan carefully, disguising themselves as construction workers to avoid suspicion. On the day of the robbery, the crew takes their positions, not knowing that H has parked his car nearby with his son, Dougie, inside. At first, Jackson doesn't think the parked car is a problem, telling his men to watch it. As the robbery starts, the crew follows their plan, forcing the armored truck guards out of the vehicle while Jan holds one at gunpoint. Another crew member pulls Dougie out of H's car, making him lie on the ground. The rest of the team quickly grabs the money bags. Everything seems to be going well until one of the guards tries to grab his weapon. Jan quickly takes off the mask and kills him. He then kills the second guard as well. When Jackson asks if everything is okay, Jan says yes, hiding the chaos. However, Dougie, lying terrified on the ground, has seen everything. Realizing that the boy could identify them, Jan coldly shoots Dougie. The crew is shocked, and one member yells at Jan for risking the entire operation. They argue, but then they see H running toward them. One of the crew tells Jan to stop him, suggesting shooting him in the legs. Jan, however, shoots H in the chest, looking him in the eyes as he falls. Months later, the group comes back together, driven by greed and wanting even more money. Even with their previous success, they're not happy. Jackson scolds Jan, reminding him that his reckless actions almost ruined everything. Jackson then explains a plan for their next and final robbery, robbing the entire Fortico fleet on Black Friday, when over $150 million is expected to be transported. He says it's risky, but if they succeed, they will be set for life. At the Fortico office, Terry tells the guards about increased security for Black Friday, telling them to be careful, take different routes there and back. Even a sniff of anything untoward, and you call it in. However, the crew's problems continue. Jackson is angry with Jan's behavior, especially his spending, which Jackson says could attract attention. On the day of the heist, Bullet and H are partners. After finishing their last run, Bullet finally reveals his dark secret. He is the insider who helped the crew rob their truck months ago, a robbery that led to the deaths of 3 people, including Dougie. Bullet says that the guards were always meant to be killed, but the child's death was a mistake. To H's shock, Bullet also says he disarmed him, taking the bullets out of his gun. He warns H that the crew plans to rob the office that day and tells him to stay calm and cooperate if he wants to live. As H realizes this betrayal, he understands the danger of the situation. Bullet disables the truck's cameras and drives it to the office, where Jackson and his crew are waiting. As they regroup, one of the crew members hits H, telling him to cooperate during the robbery. Jan and 3 other veterans get on the armored truck, while Jackson and another crew member follow in their car. When the truck arrives at the office and the gates open, chaos starts. The armed robbers come out, taking control of the parking area and capturing Terry, Sweet Boy, and H. Even Bullet, who is their insider, pretends to be a hostage. Meanwhile, Dana walks toward another truck to get a signature from Stewart, one of the guards. Inside the office, the robbers tie up H and hold a gun to Bullet's head, demanding that the employees open the vault's heavy metal door. Sticky John sees the intruders and sets off the alarm, starting a fight between the guards and the robbers. During the chaos, one of the robbers puts bombs on the metal door. The crew fights with the guards, taking only minor injuries because of their bulletproof vests. However, one of the robbers is badly hurt. Once the bombs explode, the vault door is open, letting Jackson and the others enter with their vehicle. With the office under their control, Jackson tells his team to spread out and secure the area. Outside, the police arrive. They know SWAT could stop them from escaping, so the robbers work quickly, loading money into bags while counting down the 8 minutes before reinforcements arrive. The robbers kill most of the guards, but can't find Dana, Stewart, and Shirley, who are hiding in the back of an armored truck. Stewart tells the others to wait for SWAT, but Shirley wants to take action. She starts shooting, hitting one of the robbers and causing a distraction. H takes this chance and uses a hidden pistol to shoot one of the robbers in the leg. He frees himself with a hidden knife. H quickly unties Terry and Sweet Boy. When Sweet Boy looks to him for help, H tells them to decide for themselves what to do. The two choose to escape through the back entrance, with Terry pulling Sweet Boy to safety as H dons the gear of a fallen robber and prepares for the fight ahead. As Shirley continues shooting, she is killed. Dana and Stewart grab weapons and fight the robbers. H moves carefully, removing the helmet of one robber before killing them. The remaining crew sees H's actions, causing a big shootout. During the fight, H confronts a heavily armored robber. They fight before H tries to shoot his pistol, but it's empty. He grabs a knife and uses it to take down his attacker. Meanwhile, Jackson tells the crew to leave with the money. Bullet reaches Dana and Stewart, pretending to be loyal and asking for a weapon. Stewart trusts him and gives him a gun, but Bullet turns on them, killing both Stewart and Dana. H kills 2 more robbers before Bullet attacks him, shooting him and leaving him hurt. Bullet then goes after Sweet Boy. Boy, calling out to him before shooting him as well. By the time everything is over, only Jackson, Jan, and Bullet are still alive from the crew. They move to the building's garage to escape the arriving police. As Bullet and Jan start loading the money onto a cart for the elevator, Jackson, hurt and sitting in the truck, gets his gun ready. He is aiming at John, suggesting a betrayal is coming. Jan sees Jackson's plan and slits his throat. He tells Bullet that Jackson died from his wounds as they go down into a hidden tunnel. They go to the other end, where a getaway car is waiting. As they load the money into the car, there is tension between them. Bullet knows Jan is ruthless and thinks about betraying him, just like Jackson tried to do, but he hesitates, and that's a mistake. Jan sees Bullet's plan, pulls his gun, and shoots him. With Bullet dead, Jan takes all the money and drives off, leaving no loose ends. Later, Jan relaxes in his apartment, enjoying a drink and celebrating his success. But then, he hears a phone ringing. He finds a phone hidden inside one of the money bags. Before he can understand what's happening, he sees someone coming out of the shadows.
What do you want? You here for the money?
Jan tries to hide his shock and offers H some of the money, trying to talk his way out of the situation. H doesn't say anything. Instead, he throws a document at Jan. The autopsy report of his son, Dougie. Jan picks it up and reads the details. 4 bullets, each hitting important organs: the liver, lungs, spleen, and heart. He remembers Dougie's murder and H being there during the robbery. Before Jan can react, H raises his gun and shoots Jan 4 times, the same way he killed his son. Each shot is accurate, showing the pain and loss that H felt. Jan dies, his life ending as coldly as the one he took. As H limps out of the apartment, having finished his revenge, he is met by FBI agent King, who has been waiting outside. King asks if the job is done. H nods and walks into the night, leaving the scene of his revenge behind.